الله وبركاته. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Inshallah, as the Imam Sahib recited, we are going to concentrate on ayah number 72 to 82. Yeah. Before going, can I just make sure that you are following and understanding what has been going on? I want to ask just to recuperate your mind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Musa alayhi salam with 9 miracles. Yes. And he showed these all to Pharaoh to accept as him as a prophet, and he is a messenger from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he did not accept till he was drowned, and that time he said, now I accept the God of Musa and Pharaoh. But that was too late, because remember why we have to do tawbah all the time, because the doors of tawbah are open all the time. The doors of tawbah are open all the time. That's why we have to make tawbah every time, every night before we go to bed. Make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive what we have done knowingly and also what we have done unknowingly. Allahumma inni a'udhuka an astaghfiruka shay'an wa ana a'lamu bihi wa astaghfiruka lima la a'lamu bihi. أن تبت عن متبرات من الكفر والشرك والنفاق والفحشاء والغيبة والبهتان والكذب والمعاصي كلها وأسلمت وآمنت وأقول لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. Before we sleep, make shahada again. Could be during the day you might have spoken something which is dangerous for your iman. And Pharaoh made tawbah at that time, acceptance, when he saw the angels coming. And he knew that what he was all the time struggling was wrong, and Musa is the correct. So before dying, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the last minute when you see the angels, the tawbah is not wrong. So for us also, the doors of tawbah are open all the time, till the end of our life comes and we see the angels coming to us. At that time we make dua, and tawbah, that is not accepted. The doors of tawbah are closed at that time, as soon as we see the angel coming to us. Before that, we can make tawbah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell. This is one thing. Now, I have told you about so many things about Musa alayhi salam's miracle after crossing the water. Can you mention a few of them?
Afterwards, the water.
Yes. When they were hungry, they asked Musa alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Manno salwa. Okay? When they were thirsty, they said, Oh Musa, there's so much thirst, there is no water in the desert. Then what he did was, with the asa, he struck on the rock. When he was trying to put the asa on the rock, they said, what are you going to do? When Israel asked, he said, I'm going to strike, the water is going to come. But they said, we are 12 tribes. Even with the thirst, if the water is coming, we are not going to join and drink the water. You have to make separate for the 12 tribes, because we don't want to, even we are dying, we don't want to share the water with this person and this person. Our tribes have to be separate. So what happened to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, okay, when you strike, they are going to be 12. In Qur'an Kareem, it said, "Idrab bi'asaka al-hajr from fajrat min husnata ashrata aynan." When it was striking, then 12 fountains came out, and the water came out, and they drank. So this is Manasalwa is there, striking is there, and the last class we said about what? When a person was killed, what was the thing? They asked about how to find out who killed, and the cow. The whole story of cow I gave last time, and that is the reason why this surah is called Surah Al-Baqarah, because of the incidents of the cow. The flesh was cut and it was put on the dead body, and the dead body stood up and told the name who killed this person. So these are all the things they saw. They wanted, when Musa was going and he said, revelation is coming, they said, okay, you are saying, but we would like to witness ourselves what you are telling is right. Can you imagine? They are seeing the miracles all the time, but they still does not want to trust Musa alayhi salam. They say, oh, is the God speaking to you? We would like to come and witness that you are hearing the God. So Musa alayhi salam took 70 people, selected, went into the mountain, and they heard the wahi coming and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking to Musa alayhi salam. And they listened and they said, oh, we are hearing the voice, we can't accept this till we see the God by our eyes. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a fire, they were all burnt. Then Musa alayhi salam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rest of the people, they don't trust me. If you kill them, they will say that Musa alayhi salam took and he killed them all. So please give the life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave life to these 70 people. Then they came back and they said, yes, we heard. But after hearing, they started talking to each other and they changed what they heard. They heard from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they changed what they heard according to what their wishful thinking was. So this is Bani Israel. They saw the miracles, they spent time with Musa alayhi salam. They saw they were saved from the clutches of Pharaoh with the departing of the ocean. And in the desert they saw all these things, but they don't believe in Musa alayhi salam. They don't believe in Nauzubillah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There, as we have belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Al-Alim, Al-Khabir, everything, superlative. He is not like us. But the Bani Israel had the opinion that Nauzubillah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has limited knowledge. He doesn't know all the things, He knows things. And when it comes to the day of judgment, He is going to be the judge, but He is going to listen to the cases. And He will decide according to which is strong, which is weak. Our belief is Allah knows everything. And He is just checking what they are saying is right or wrong. But if they try to hide it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to order their hands, their feet. In Surah Al-Yasin says their mouth will be sealed. What they used to do, their hands and their feet are going to tell. But Bani Israel thinks, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not know all this background. On the day of judgment, He is going to listen to the cases and then decide. This is the problem. And why they did not accept Ar-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because their belief is that all the prophets comes in Bani Israel, not Bani Ismail. And as far as this sacrifice is concerned, they say it was Ishaq alayhi salam was sacrificed, not Ismail alayhi salam. In the Torah, it's given lots and lots of discussion saying that it was Ishaq alayhi salam, because he was the chosen one. And they say that Na'uzubillah, Ismail alayhi salam is the cursed son. And this is the chosen son, so all the prophets will come from the chosen son, not from the cursed son. And for there, in Torah, the details are given where the sacrifice was done. They say it is a place called Sakka in Torah. And in between Sifa and Maran, there are two mountains, and in Maran, the sacrifice of Ishaq alayhi salam was done. And the goat was sent from the heaven, and he is the chosen person for whom the sacrifice was made. So when it comes to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the Torah, the details of Rasul sallallahu was given completely. His color of the hair, color of the eyes, his face, his features, the way he talked, the way he walked, everything was given in detail. When they saw Bani Israel, when they saw in Medina Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the scholars, the rabbis used to give them lectures before Rasul sallallahu migrated, that the last prophet is going to come, he is going to be like this and this and this and this. When they saw Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the common Bani Israel, not the scholars, they went and saw, and they said, this is what our scholars told us. This is 100% fitting. All the details given to us. And they went and they told the scholars, say you used to give us lectures about the last prophet and the one who came. This is all fitting. He said, why are you telling all these things to these Muslim people? You are making your case weak, and they will have a right to tell in front of the God, Lord, on the day of judgment, that you accepted all these factors. They think that Na'uzubillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't know anything unless the proof is given to him in front on the day of judgment. So why are you telling? Otherwise they will have a strong case in front of the Lord on the day of judgment. This is what they are saying. And the tahrif, what they change in the Torah. When they saw all these things coming, they strike off all those details of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and change them, which was completely opposite of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is the tarif. The second tarif they made is according to the people in power. The king or the person in high position, if they wanted something to be done, they used to come and ask the rabbi, we want this thing to be done, and they say, open the book, and they say, no, the Torah says like this and like this and like this. But they say, it's very important. I want this thing to be done, not this thing. A bag of gold coins, can you write it according to what I have told? So, strike it, and then what he says is written down, and that becomes the Torah. So this is the changes they did. And to please the people, otherwise they know that, they said, okay, would you like to stay in this country? Would you like to be paid? Would you like your children to survive? Are you going to make these changes or not? So how can they refuse? Okay, so these are the changes done in Torah. One is changes according to the orders of the people in power. The second thing about changes of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam details. So now Imam Hassan has recited, mashallah, everything very neatly. I'm just going to do the translation of those ayah. This ayah number 73. فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبُوهُ بِبَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. We said, strike him with a piece of it, flesh, Thus Allah brings the dead to life and shows you His signs. That's what we did last sitting. What happened after this? Seeing all these miracles and everything, ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون. Then your heart became hard as rock, or even harder, for there are rocks from which rivers gush forth, some split asunder, so that water gushes from them, and others fall down in through fear of Allah, and Allah is not unaware of what you do. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving an example of rocks, three types, three examples are given. And this is all related to the hearts of Bani Israel. Your heart are so hard, even rock or even harder than the rock. The three examples are given. One is that when the Bani Israel, the people who did not accept the Torah, they wanted to ask a ruling, a guidance to given to us. When the Torah was given, they say, it is very hard, we don't want to accept it. Then what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we did it before a mountain came on the top of the Bani Israel. And then it was said that either you accept, otherwise it's going to be dropped on you and killed. Then they suddenly say, okay, we promise we will accept all the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the rock was moved, but because of the fear of Allah, the rock broke and the pieces were thrown away, and they saw the pieces of the rocks falling down. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you three examples of rock here. One is then when Musa alayhi salam with the asa, the water came. So the rock was very hard, but with the touching of the asa, the water gushed and came along, and they witnessed it with their eyes. And they saw afterwards the water started flowing slowly. They saw the water coming very slowly, and the stones were being broken, and the water was coming at that time. They saw this one. And also they saw the rock which broke and dropped with fear of Allah. All these three signs, they saw it. Then your hearts became as hard as rock, or even harder, for there are rocks from which river gush forth, some split asunder, so that water gushes from them, and others fall down in through fear of Allah, and Allah is not unaware of what you do. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling to the Muslims, the Mu'min of Medina, saying that you are trying to convince these people to accept our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the final messenger. Look, this is ayah number 75. أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون. Do you then hope that they will believe in you, seeing that a party heard the word of Allah knowingly and changed it after they had understood its meaning? This is addressed to the Muslims and the Mu'min of the Medina, saying that after all these miracles and everything they have seen, do you think this Bani Israel is going to accept what you are telling you? Next time, وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلا بعضهم إلى بعض قالوا أتحدثونهم بما فتح الله عليكم ليحاجوكم به عند ربكم أفلا تعقلون. When they meet those who believe, they say we believe, because they saw the signs given to them by the rabbi about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when they go back to the rabbi, they say to each other, must we tell them what Allah has revealed to you, so that they dispute with you concerning before your Lord? Have you no sense? Why are you telling? All the signs are there about Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Torah. If you say that, then your word is going to be taken in front of the Lord on the day of judgment, and your case is going to become weak. After hearing all this, still they did not accept Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They still kept on with what they thought. أَوَلَا يَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ. Do they not know that Allah knows that which they hide and that which they reveal? This is the explanation of that ayah. And in Bani Israel there were the scholars, the rabbi, and the rest were all followers. And for the followers, the rabbi said that you are not allowed to touch or read Torah. Torah is our status, and we are the privileged ones to read and explain Torah to you. You are not supposed to read. If you touch Torah or if you read, then you will be cursed. This was their thing about, so that they should not read or understand what Torah says. We are the one who knows Torah, and we are going to tell you what you have to do. So the ordinary people, they have no idea. They have to depend on what the scholar says, and anything said by scholars, written by scholars, they thought this is as equal to as Torah. There was no difference, and they used to obey completely. When the ayah came in Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem, that why you have taken your scholars as God. This is an ayah in Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. Abdullah bin Salam and Ka'ab Razillah Ta'ala, they accepted Islam. They were scholars of Torah. When this ayah was revealed, they came to Rasulullah. They said that Rasulullah, we never worshipped our scholars, our rabbis. We never worshipped. We only worshipped Allah. Then Rasulullah asked a question. Did you accept what your scholars said as halal and what they say as haram? They said yes, because whatever our scholars said, this is right to do it, we did. And they said, you don't do it, we didn't do it. Then Rasulullah said, that is what is thing. Because the halal and haram is the only decision to be made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you accept from anybody, then you are accepting. Because nobody can make a law or judgment to make something made halal from Allah to make it haram. And the proof comes in one of the surah in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, Surah At-Tahrim. Rasulullah tried to make the honey forbidden for himself. Immediately the ayah came, Al-Quran Al-Kareem, you cannot make something which Allah made halal as haram. So if Rasulullah is not allowed to make this change, how can anybody else make it? But they say that because they accepted what the halal and the haram, what their rabbi said, then that is what he says, that then you are worshipping them like Allah. وَمِنْهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا أَمَانِيَّ وَإِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظُنُّونَ. There are illiterate men among them who know not the scripture, except from hearsay. They do nothing but guess. This is amani. Amani is something wishful thinking. Oh, what we are doing, I think this is very good. Not what the Torah says, what Allah says, what the rules comes. No, they had their own decisions and they decided that this is a good thing to do. We can do the same thing for ourselves as well. We can decide this is good, this is not good. But everything we have to base on the guidance given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which is good, which is not good, which is allowed, which is not allowed. فويل للذين يكتبون الكتاب بأيديهم ثم يقولون هذا من عند الله ليشتروا به ثمنا قليلا فويل لهم مما كتبت أيديهم وويل لهم مما يكسبون. Woe to those who write the scriptures with their own hands and then say, this is from Allah, that they may sell it for a little price. So woe to them because of what their hands have written and because of what they gain. This is something which I explained to you, the changes they made because of few worldly gain for them to survive, for their families to survive, to continue their position in the society. They gained something, but how long this lasted for them? The coins, the gold they got, and the property they had, for how long it was there, for their lifetime or even before. And then once they die, they are responsible for their deeds and action in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 8. وَقَالُوا لَن تَمَسَّنَا النَّارُ إِلَّا أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَةً قُلْ أَتَّخَذْتُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ عَهْدًا فَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ عَهْدَهُ أَمْ تَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. They say, the fire will never touch us except for a few days. Say, did Allah make you such a promise that Allah will not break His promise? Or do you say of Allah what you do not know? They used to say that even if we do all sorts of things, because we are the chosen one. Nano Ahibba, we are the children of Allah, na'uzubillah, and we are friends of Him. How can He throw us in the hellfire? It might be just to show to the ordinary people, just to put a blank on their eyes. He will say, okay, I'm putting them in hellfire like this and bring them out. That's what they are thinking of. But as far as the hellfire is concerned, the hellfire is going to be 70 miles away from you. And if it's like a door, from the door, can you see sometime when it is cold weather and you are coming and closing your house of outside, if it comes out, then the cold winds come from outside into your house. That cold breeze comes just a little bit. A little breeze coming from the hellfire, just touching a person, he's going to cry saying that I am completely destroyed, I am completely destroyed, I am completely destroyed. The hellfire is miles and miles and away. It was just a little breeze from the hellfire coming and touching that person. So can you imagine what the hellfire is going to be? What is so Allahumma hafazna, Allahumma hafazna, Allah save us from Allahumma jinna minan nar, Allahumma jinna minan nar, Allahumma jinna minan nar, save us. But they made even the hellfire a fun for them, saying that, oh, is that hell is going to be there? Okay, we are going to be not put in the hellfire, we are going to be just moved for a few days and bring it out from there. This is what their thoughts were there. بلى من كسب سيئة وأحاطت به خطيئته فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. Those who have committed evil and are surrounded by their sin, such are those people on the fire. In it they shall remain forever. والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون. This is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. Whenever He made something for the non-believers, because the believers is going to read this book, suddenly He is going to give comfort to the believers. Don't be afraid, this was told to these people. So this is all the time balanced in Al-Quran Al-Kareem. Bashir and Nazir, two things go to warning and good tidings. They are going side by side. For people who are committing sins, disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are going to be punished. But at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give comfort to the believers and who are obeying to Him, saying that, don't worry, this is not for you, this was for those people, but you are doing good things. Two things to remember. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. This is one thing. Remember, Iman is the most important thing, followed by Amal Salih. I gave you an example. If it is a good flourishing tree, if the Iman is there, it should come as fruits. When it is a healthy, good tree, that gives you fruit. When there is Iman, then Amal Saleh come out from us. That is the proof. So, going into the Jannah, two things, Iman and Amal Saleh. Iman has to be there first and then good deeds. But suppose if somebody has no Iman, doing lots of worldly good things, charities, looking after orphans, widows, building hospitals, orphanage, everything they are doing, but there is no Iman, then their entrance into Jannah is not there. Because Amal Saleh has to be followed after Iman. Without Iman, you do lots and lots of Amal Saleh, it has no value. You will be rewarded in this world. All the people who are doing all the good deeds, without Iman, they will all be rewarded in this world. Because whatever they have done, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward them. But for one who has got Iman and does Amal Saleh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward in this world, but the major benefits are going to be in the hereafter. And that is the time where, when I mentioned about the dua, when we make a dua, three things can happen. Either dua will be accepted straight away what you made. If it is not accepted, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to remove a calamity coming to you because of what dua you made. The third thing is, nothing is going to happen. On the day of judgment, suddenly loads and loads of virtuous deeds are going to be brought up, mountains, and put, and that person is going to ask, what are these? Then the angels are going to say that these are the virtues given to you because your dua was not accepted in the world and no calamity was moved away from you. So this was all the things which are stored for you and brought. And that time that person would have said that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why did you accept any dua in the world? I wanted to have all the benefits here on the day of judgment. This is the beauty of it. Inshallah, we will concentrate of whatever we have recited and the translation go, but the whole idea is to go back home and read it a couple of times, these 10 ayah, go through the translation and think about the explanation given. And that is the whole idea of understanding Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. Because recitation, alhamdulillah, recitation gives you rewards. The proof is that Rasulullah said that when you say one letter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving the reward 10 rewards for one letter. One letter. And when you say, the example Rasulullah gave was Alif Lam Mim, that's not one, but these are 3 letters. So just by saying Alif Lam Mim, we are going to get 30 rewards. Just even without understanding, you recite, you will get the rewards. But the beauty is that is a message from your Lord to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to you. Don't you want to know what He has told you to do? What is His message is there? What is His communication means? So you have to concentrate on understanding it. Having Iman and faith on it, recite it, understand it, and obey it, act upon it, and share it with others, spread it to others. This is the hukuf Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem on us. So that's our homework. Go back, recite, Go through the translation, understand it, ponder upon it. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is questioning us. Don't you ponder upon of what I have revealed to you? Or you just want to recite and then forget about it? No. You have to understand it and go through the depth of it. You cannot go to the real depth of Al-Quran Al-Kareem. It is like you cannot go to the bottom of the ocean. It is very difficult, but the whole benefits of Al-Quran Al-Kareem are given on the surface. Go through them, understand it, and act upon it. And Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given us a chance to come here and spend this time. This time is very, very precious because we don't know, but the angels are coming around us. We are sitting in the mosque, pondering of learning Al-Quran Al-Kareem, and the angels around, they are looking. These places look like stars to the angels, like we see in the night stars in the sky. For angels, these look like stars. So they say, there is some light coming, let's go there. They come around and sit around and gather around us and listen to what we are saying. And then they go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tell what they have saw. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask them question, what did you see? They say that there are people sitting around and discussing about this and this and this. So we have witnessed by the angels, and our names are going to be told in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This and this and this and this person was there. Can you imagine the benefit of sitting here? Otherwise, you don't spend the time here. The same 1 hour, 2 hours are going to be spent somewhere else. You could be watching TV, you could be spending time with friends and talking, and the most important thing is the empty time goes on with our tongues making something which is going to be harmful to us. It's a one word coming from our tongue that is going to be something which is going to be very, very hard. Muaz ibn Jabal Razillah Ta'ala anhu, young man, and Rasulullah told him, "Oh Muaz, I love you." This is the only companion to Rasulullah told, "Oh Muaz, I love you, I love you, I love you." And he said, "Muaz, be careful, be careful." And he said, "What should I be careful?" And Rasulullah opened his mouth, hold his tongue, and he said, "Muaz, be careful about this. This is a small flesh in your body, but when it strikes, the strike is harder than hitting by an iron. Because if you break the heart of a person with a word with your tongue, after that you will ask for forgiveness. He might forgive you, but in his heart, the strike you have done, the harm you have caused, he will never forget. He might forgive you, but he will never forget what harm you caused with the tongue." So we have to be very, very careful. And Muaz ibn Jabal, he died at the age of 33. He was made the governor of Yemen, and Rasulullah parted with him and asked him to sit on the horse, and Rasulullah started to talk to him, telling him, and he said, "No, you sit in the car." No, he said, "No, you sit in the horse. I am going to talk." And for half a mile out of Medina, he was holding his hand and telling him what to do in Yemen. When you go to Yemen, what are you going to do? How are you going to spread this? How are you going to act with them? How are you going to take actions with them? How are you going to spread Islam to them? Everything and everything and everything. And one thing is with this conversation came was, if any problems comes, how are you going to solve Muaz? He said, "I know Al-Quran Al-Kareem, I'll try and find the answer in Quran Al-Kareem." He said, "The answers are there, but suppose if you won't find the answer in Al-Quran Al-Kareem." Then he said, "I spent time with you, then according to the Sunnah I'll time." He said, suppose without the Quran and without the Hadith, if suppose there is a problem, you can't find the answer, what are you going to do? Then he said, I'll make ijtihad, fatahajjad. Then he said, backed on the shoulder, he said, that's the right thing. With the nur of the Qur'an and the light of the Sunnah, you are going to make a decision which you won't be able to find in Al-Quran and Sunnah. That is called ijtihad. So the ijtihad started with Muaz ibn Jabal. So, and he passed away and Rasulullah last thing he said that, oh Muaz, you are going now. You may not see me again because by the time you come, I may not be here. And the tears came flowing from Muaz ibn Jabal. But he said, no, you have been given a responsibility, go to Yemen and do the righteous thing. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta